Welcome to a special RadioRadioX music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud RadioRadioX contributor from New York, and I am so delighted to present an interview with a fellow New Yorker, talking about the man behind the makeup right over here, Mr. Troy Norr, also known as KK Fossor. He is the main character of the wonderful, fantastic, out-of-this-world metal band called Them, and their brand new album, Psychedelic Enigma, is available from SPV Steamhammer, and it is wild. I am friendly with Troy, as you'll see in a little while, so it's just such a pleasure to speak with him and to hear his method to the madness. The brand new album, Psychedelic Enigma, is possibly faster and heavier than anything that they've ever done. I couldn't believe it when I heard it, and so there's so much to discuss. You're hearing a clip of one of the lead singles, Catatonia, and we're going to talk all about the mind trip that is this album. It follows the story of KK Fossor, or does it? We don't know. We're going to find out, and we're going to do a little stroll down memory lane also. There's so much to discuss. This is going to be a fun interview. Strap in, bookmark the parts that you like best, tell us all about it, and listen for some more clips. Another track that I absolutely loved, it's called Remember to Die. So we're definitely going to play that later as well. All right, let's get to it. RadioRadioX.com listeners worldwide, please welcome from the grave, Mr. KK Fossor, also known as my friend Troy Norr of Them. All right, so I am joined by, as you can see up there, Mr. Troy Norr, who you might know as this gentleman right here, KK Fossor from Them. How are you, Troy?
Oh, my friend.
It's so great to see you, and I just want to cue everybody in. I'm going to lead with this, which I wasn't going to do until later, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to see if I can share this right here. Here we go. This is, I think, the first moment I met you right here. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's right.
We are in Merrick, Long Island to see a group called Uncle Jack, where the gentleman to my right is Mike Torelli, who sang on the Uncle Jack record, and you were there. I didn't know who you were at the time.
Nope, you don't know.
That's 2021, I believe.
I think Mike told you, and you're like, what?
Yeah, Mike said to me, "Do you know this guy over here?" I said, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you are." And you were very gracious about it. You said most people don't. Well, to be fair, you don't. You're not dressed up. You're out of character. You're out of uniform. However you want to call it. But we had a great time that day, and since then, I've seen you several times around the island. We've been to a couple of the same shows. We've caught up. And you're just an all-around great dude, and I'm just a fan of you as Troy. So to be a fan of you as KK is like an added bonus, right?
Yeah, KK's a lot of fun.
Is he? Is he a cool dude? Can somebody hang and have a brouhaha with KK?
Most people are scared to.
Yeah, but I would embrace him. So let's talk. So you're in a group called Them. Now, we're not going to get too into it. Van Morrison has not sued you. The members of Them from the way back have not sued you. So you've got your own thing going on. And this is the next chapter in KK's multi-generational, century story, right?
And multidimensional
Even. It's getting you've gone from time, you've transcended time, and now you're in realms, right? Yeah. So to pick up, the last album was Fear City, and it ended in 1981 in New York City. KK was locked in the basement of the descendant of his mortal enemy, and we didn't know if he was ever going to get out. And the new album opens up. The new album is Psychedelic Enigma, and the new album opens up where he's in a catatonic state, right? It's called catatonia. And he's trying to piece together what may or may not have happened, what may or may not have been real. Am I right?
Nope.
No! Well, I better cut that fucking part.
No, that's okay. A lot of people interpret it they'll interpret the story differently.
Okay.
So
So,
really, what's going on is KK is really not real. Okay.
okay.
So, and you're the first person I'm telling this to because
Oh,
the album's been out. The album's been out, and
yeah.
I don't want to really like blow the end of the ending because we
We
don't
won't,
even twist most of it.
we won't give away the store,
Right.
but
But KK, the story starts off where there's two dimensions, right? There's one where it's KK's dimension, right?
mhm,
But that's not how it starts. It starts off in my dimension or Troy's dimension.
Troy's dimension
Troy's dimension, and Troy was in a coma for 17 years.
for reasons that we will not say, but I know because of
Right.
the last track.
Correct.
Right.
For reasons why we won't say. And he basically he comes out of this catatonic state,
Mm-hmm.
and he is, he doesn't really know what's going on, but
Yeah.
he does understand that he does understand that everything that he's been thinking about is real in his mind, right?
Right.
And what he's been thinking about has been the story of KK Fossor,
Right.
because
Okay.
he is, and he basically has been thinking about this while he's been in a catatonic state for the 17 years. Like, he was thinking about everything that's happened from Sweet Hollow, Matter of the Seven Gables, Return to Hemsmore, Fierce City, and now this is it flip flops between Troy's reality or Troy's dimension and KK's dimension.
Right.
And there's a
Now,
very interesting twist at the end, which we won't say.
yes, we won't give that away. But here's what I wanted to say. When I was listening to it, I think I remember writing to you because we're buds and we chat every once in a while. We send each other texts,
Sure.
and I get way more pictures of your anatomy than I'd like. And I, but what I noticed when I was listening was that and I don't know if this was a conscientious thing on your part, but there's more of Troy's voice and your natural voice than the extra pitches that normally you throw in there. There's nothing wrong with those. I actually like those a lot, but you're using them a little bit more sparingly this time, and there's a little bit more of a human being in there as opposed to a supernatural being. Was that a conscientious thing on your part?
Nope.
Nope. Oh
Nope.
for two.
I write musically, vocally. I'll write what I feel is
Okay.
appropriate for the song. And then basically I'll map the songs based on how the story's going. So mood, the mood of the song itself conveys on how I'm gonna sing. So,
Okay.
but if I feel like, some of these songs there on this album, they're pretty heavy, like Remember to Die.
Remember to Die. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but
Yeah.
that may be the heaviest one. It doesn't start out the heaviest, but it becomes the
No,
heaviest.
no, but it actually has a mixture of styles
Yes.
from what you're talking about and the KK style. So,
Right. And okay, so let's just jump over to that. I believe it's one of the singles, right?
yes, yep.
Yeah. So Remember to Die starts off a little bit slower and then it's like a rocket ship. And you've got this one part that is almost reminiscent of Biohazard when you're talking, there's some gas along the wall. And like it's got that vibe to it. And I don't know if that's a New York thing or just like you're saying, you're going with the flow. You're feeling that. And it does change the template of them a little bit in that song.
I would say I'm guilty of being a New York resident, you know, because it has like a little bit of like you were saying, like a hardcore,
Yeah.
hardcore feel. There's a lot of the New York hardcore bands, they do a lot of gang vocals, and
Yeah.
had like almost like metal, like a metallic rap or metal rap.
Right.
And that's hard, that's hardcore. So it's like, a little bit of that. I mean, Anthrax did a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
but it felt right. for the song. So
Yeah. And it was super cool. And I remember hearing it and just going, oh wow. And it's funny also because I started listening right after I saw an Biohazard last month at the Warsaw in Brooklyn. And so I have Biohazard on the brain. They got a new album out and stuff. So I hear it and I go, oh, this is, if it's not an homage to Biohazard, I'm sure they would be, even if it is, I'm sure that they would be happy about it because it's a New Yorker and you're doing the thing. And it's a couple of segments in the song. It's not like the whole album is like that. But Remember to Die also has you doing all those different pitches, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
Now,
was fun recording that.
yeah. Let me just point this out for everybody because we've talked about this. We've had one other interview before, but I do want to point it out. When you hit those high notes, you're not using any tech. That's really you hitting those notes.
All me.
That's all you.
Yeah,
And
you meaning no harmonizers, nothing like that.
right,
No.
right. You're not using any robotics. You're not using any tricks. It's you, and I'm sure it's not easy to do, but
Nope.
you're doing it, and you're probably doing it. I'm going to guess somewhere between 5 and 7 times to get all that range in there.
5 to 7 times. Try like there's that one part is probably like 30, 40 tracks.
Oh my god!
My vocal tracks range between on an average between 30 and 40 vocal tracks per song.
Wow.
But choruses they have a lot. I build them. I layer them. I build them up, and it's fun.
And did you always set out to do that? Did you always say to yourself, "I got to do it. This is how I'm going to stand out from other singers."
Yeah. So there's always been a formula with laying down the vocals.
Yeah.
The leads always are at least two tracks, right? So they're doubled. If there's any harmonies, the harmonies themselves are also two. Sometimes there's multi-part harmonies. Those extra harmonies, each one will be two tracks.
Yeah.
And you layer it, and it gives the engineer some meat to work with.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's something that I've always done. I've done that from you know 30 years ago, 25,
Right.
30 years ago. So it's nothing different. That's just how I record.
Yeah. Now, your band or the other members of them are not in the US, correct?
Well, one of them is.
One of them is.
Yeah,
Who?
it used to be half and half.
Okay.
But since then we replaced some guys. It's the guy all the way right, yeah, right there, that guy.
Who's that guy?
Marcus Johansson. He's from Chicago.
Okay. And what
And
does he play?
he plays he's one of the lead guitarists.
Okay. So he's got an important role.
Yeah, and the bass player, the other guitar player, and the keyboardist are from Germany.
Yes.
Him, and then Marcus Ulrich, who's on the other side of KK,
Uh-huh.
and then Richie Zybel, the keyboardist, all the way on the end.
Okay.
The new guy's the drummer,
That guy?
the ball guy. Yeah, David.
You got to give that guy an Olympic medal for speed drumming on this album, right?
Yeah, he did a great job.
He's your new guy?
Yeah.
If I were him, I would be asking for a raise because this was not. There are so many tempo changes. It's so fast. It's probably faster than Fear City. So
He definitely, it was challenging.
yeah, yeah. And when you communicate with them, is music the universal language? Is it just like they give you the tracks, you do your thing, or do you write stuff also? Are you a musician in the sense of a guitar player or a keyboardist or something, and you give them stuff?
I have in the past, but not for this project.
No? Okay.
No, it's really the people that mainly write the music is really the guitar players.
Mhm.
The keyboardist, he'll add his parts to
Mhm.
to add a certain level of atmosphere to the music.
Yeah.
That's really who writes the structuring of the songs, the two guitar players. And
Excellent.
that's how it's been with this project.
Right. And so when you get, I'm gonna guess like a WeTransfer or a Dropbox file from them, are you like a kid in a candy store? Or are you just like, oh my God, I gotta open this up?
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to whatever they give me,
Yeah.
hundreds of times
Yeah.
before I do anything. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome hearing new stuff, clean, like clean slates, so to
Yeah.
speak. Music is clean slate, so it's whatever I want. And there's very rare do I ever change anything,
Right.
but there are definitely points in time that I add. So I might like record certain songs and then go back later at the end. Oh, I want to
Right.
add this, and this. Um, for the most part, I'm very satisfied with everything that I've done.
Yeah.
There are definitely some things over the course of time. I'm listening to the music maybe another 100 times after it's been recorded, and then I say, "Oh wow, I could have done this."
Right.
I
But you
could.
don't want to beat yourself up.
No, I'm for the most part, I'm very happy with all the records that we've done. I'm happy with what I've contributed, and I'm always looking forward to something new, something
Yeah.
more.
Right. Right. And that's super cool. And it's so funny because you're such a character, obviously. And you and I've talked about this. I feel like KK should be hosting some sort of, midnight special type of horror show or series or something like that. Not like Vincent Price, but something a little bit more modern. But you're a very you're a fun guy, you're a humble guy, you're a family man. You're not you're not this, but at the same time you are. And I think there's a lot of symbolism in this album cover right here because I feel like there's part of you trying to get out. Am I onto something there, Troy?
Actually, that album cover, the person who's the patient who's standing above dropping the match, that is supposed to be me.
Yeah. It was either you or the ball drummer. One
No,
of
that's
the
supposed to
two.
be me. And,
Right.
and KK, he's like, he's trying to brace himself because the match is going to fall, and you have the gas cans there, and there's going to be some combustion going on there. On the
Yeah.
inside of the cover of the gatefold vinyl, we have a different scene, and it's a mirror. So
Oh,
it's KK is the one who's on top, and he's throwing a skull at me, and we literally switch positions.
right.
And Psychedelic Enigma is actually spelled backwards, as though
Back.
you're looking at it in a mirror. And then the them logo is actually the same logo. You could still see it the same way, except the T is not inverted.
Right. Damn,
And
man, you're really trying to screw with everybody's minds there, aren't you?
and it was just it's basically to depict it's basically like that to represent the two dimensions,
Yeah.
and there's a
Yeah.
connection between the two of them.
And I think at one point, and forgive me for forgetting what song it is. I think it's Evil Deed, where you say you commit a murder and you would do it again.
Yep, that was.
Yeah. And I feel like
I
that
broke
was
the
one
law.
reconciling with the other, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can pick up on some stuff, even with a 9.1% alcohol beer in me. I can do it. I got it. I got it going on. So you've got this one now. I gotta also ask did you know that this was going to be the sequel to Fear City, or did you have to really meditate on it for a while to get the right story?
So just so you know, it's not a direct sequel.
Right.
So it's meaning it's not a linear sequel like the other albums,
Yeah.
that were literally they would start. If you put them together, the other four albums, they're pretty much back to back, with the exception of album 3 and 4, which is a time jump, right?
Yeah. Right. He
This is
wakes up in 1981 New York City, and it's not a great time to be a New Yorker at that time.
right, definitely not.
Right.
But so now it's just a little different because it touches upon what has happened in the last previous all the previous albums on in KK's dimension.
Right.
So it touches upon that, but it's also at the same time touching upon it's flip flopping between the other dimension, which is Troy's dimension, and then there's that twist at the end. But
Yeah.
it's something that it's like a end of some people's were saying it's like the end of the story. I don't say it's the end of the story. I say it could be something completely new,
Right.
completely different. Um, and the music is starting to reflect that.
Yeah. And the music is a controlled chaos for sure. Yeah. It is fast, it is furious, and I hope you'll take this as a compliment. And I did write this to Mike Torelli, who is the singer of Holy Mother, who we saw earlier. I wrote to him when I heard the album. I said, you got to hear this. It's power thrash in the way that Flotsam and Jetsam is doing their thing now. You know, like they figured out a way to keep it going and use modern sound, but really amp it up to 11, and that's what you're doing here. And it's not to say that you're doing exactly what Flotsam and Jetsam doing. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but it's the same sort of vibe. And I hope that's resonating in the way that I mean it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, great. Because, you guys, the second that you start slowing down, it's going to be, oh, them is slowing down. They're getting old. They're getting crusty. So you took it and you went harder and faster. And let's call him out again. What's this gentleman's name right here?
David, he's the new drummer. He's from Ecuador.
David from Ecuador needs a little vacation. Let's take a quick break. The second annual EMAs will be held at Empire Live, the home of metal, punk, and hardcore in upstate New York on Saturday, January 17th, 2026. This is your chance to show support for the underdogs and be a part of the biggest 518 event of the year. Visit extrememusicawards.com for more information, and a link is on this interview's show notes. I think someone should nominate them for an Extreme Music Awards. Listen to this. This is Evil Deed off of Psychedelic Enigma, the new album from them. Let's return to our interview with singer Troy Norr, a.k.a. KK Fossor. So let's go back in time a little bit, though. Didn't you open for Halloween about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
How was that? What were those shows like?
They were very interesting in the sense that nobody knew who we were.
Nobody in the band knew who you were?
No, meaning the audience.
The audience didn't know. Okay.
We were playing for Halloween's audience. They didn't know who we were.
Right. But you were in New York playing for Halloween's audience.
Well, we played a 2.5-week tour with Halloween.
Okay.
So one show was in New York.
Right.
That was at the Nokia Theater, or PlayStation Theater.
Yeah.
But our first show was in Montreal.
Wow.
Montreal in Canada, and it was at the Corona Theater. And it was so funny because we played the show. There was probably, I don't know, probably about 2,000 plus people there, and people were like coming up to us after the show saying, "Wow, you guys are great, whatever, like, how long have you been playing together?" We've like, literally, this was our first show. And we only played like 3 days together.
Oh, wow. So, because you're different countries.
Yeah. So, we practiced for a few days and then we did a tour.
But that's professionalism right there, right?
Yeah.
You're not winging that shit. You got to know it.
No, yeah. So, I mean, originally the project, it started as a one-off project, right? And it just evolved into a band.
Right.
And now here 5 albums later.
Yeah.
So.
And when you did those shows with Halloween, were you KK?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was full steam ahead from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah. And then I also want, so was that tour, I mean, so that tour raised some awareness, but was it a cool thing to be a part of, opening for Halloween?
It was incredible. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was incredible. Yeah, we broke bread with them, and we got to watch, a number of their shows at the side of the stage.
Yeah.
Got to see some pretty, awesome performances, and it was fun. It was fun. I was a big fan of Halloween growing up.
Sure.
It was pretty cool, seeing them perform some of my favorite songs.
Yeah, totally. So and this is This is before Kiss K and Hanson come back in the band. I want to say it's around 2015.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the My God Given Right tour. And so I'm a big Halloween fan, and so that's cool. And then I also wanted to bring up something. Now you and I know each other. We cleared it with legal. Everything's fine. So as you know, you and I have spoken a bunch of times. My favorite singer, I bring this up every single time. My favorite metal singer is John Bush, formerly of Anthrax. Now Bush joined the band in '93, but that was after apparently a rigorous audition process, and you auditioned for the frontman position with Anthrax after Belladonna left in the early '90s, right?
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people, I don't know who knows this story, but I would love it if you would give us the abridged version of what it was like to audition, because I know it's not what people would think.
It was set up like a game show.
Okay.
You know, where they had a gong, like the Gong Show from the
Yeah.
70s. You know, and basically the whole band was supposed to be there. I honestly don't even know if they were there or not. It was the club was dark. It was a lot of people there. There was probably about 100 and something, maybe 120-ish people.
120 to audition.
Yeah, to audition.
Okay.
You didn't have much time. You had like it was either I don't remember how much time, but it was under a minute. You had to play, and you played with a band.
And the band was not Anthrax.
The band was not Anthrax. No, you had to play with the band, and people from the label were there. And you know, you had I think there was one of 1, 2, 3, maybe like 3 songs to choose from. You know, like, and you pick your song, and they would play the same song. You know, meaning the same part of the song,
right?
For like maybe a minute, and you sang. You had to sing. And then they would say, okay, next. But obviously nobody, Bush wasn't there,
Right.
So he wasn't there. So
you were just in the line. It was almost as if you were at the ticket counter ordering deli meat, and you were just,
yeah, you had a number.
Yep.
You had a number. I vaguely remember because this is a while ago, but
yeah, it's 30 something years ago.
I'm pretty sure we had to, like, we were a number. Like you were like on,
like you're running a race. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're running a race. You had a number. And then, you were done, and you walked off. There was definitely some people that, that sounded really good. And, I forget what song I did. Time.
Oh yeah. The Joe Jackson song.
Yeah, I did that one. So that was a choice, and they had a few others, but I had fun with that one, so I did that. And I think it could have been. I mean, it could have been just like a marketing stunt,
right.
Maybe it could have been. Maybe they felt that there could have been something from that. People flew in from all over the United States and even Canada,
right,
to do this audition. So it was, like I said, it was very interesting, and it's funny you remember that when I was telling you about that. It was interesting.
It's one of these wild stories that you hear, because without making this about me, I was a comic briefly in 2006 and 7. And I bought into the idea that if you waited in line for Last Comic Standing, that you were going to get through the door. So when you told me that story about 12 or 13 years later, it reminded me of that, except you actually got through the door and I got cut well before the door. So it's a wild thing. But I mean, it's funny because, they were looking for a successor for Belladonna. They got one, then they got another one, then Bush comes back, and then Belladonna comes back. So at this point, they don't give a shit what we say. So there's that. But do you, and I'm just curious, do you happen to remember any other person who was waiting in line who might have gone on to do something else that you know of?
That night, I don't remember. It was nobody, there was nobody like famous.
Right.
But there were some really good singers there. Very good singers. I don't remember. Again, it was dark.
Yeah.
Nobody went by names. Everybody went by numbers.
That's, I did a TV show once where I auditioned to be the voice of Ray Romano. in a voice impression show, and it was the same exact setup,
Yeah.
except for the numbers. That was it. And so I know exactly what you mean. It's dark. You can't see the
Yeah.
judges.
Couldn't see. It was in a club. It was in a club too.
Yep. I get it.
So it was, I had some friends that came with me, and it was a great experience.
That's cool. And you were, obviously a younger man at the time. Them was not a group. What were you doing back then? What was your band if you had one back then?
It was Cold Steel.
Cold Steel.
Yeah, Cold Steel. And Cold Steel is funny because I actually toured with Halloween before them with Cold Steel.
Oh,
I did practically the same run, just slightly. Some clubs were the same, some were different. I did that in 2013.
okay.
2013. So 3 years before, I did a run with Halloween. So I toured with them twice.
Did they recognize you, or did they say you look familiar, but your eye is all messed up and we can't figure it out?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think like I didn't make it a thing. I mean, I think near the end we always spoke to some of them, and they then they're like, oh yeah, we remember Cold Steel.
Right.
We toured with them, but it was a different style of music. It was more heavy. It was like Remember to Die.
Okay,
Cold Steel was more like Cold Steel was like that. It's like a New York thrash band. So
gotcha.
yeah, so that's why I was able to do that run twice, and it was fun. It was awesome.
You've
Great
opened for
experience.
Halloween twice. That's a huge thing in most people's eyes.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you. So, okay, I asked you this last time too. I know it's tough because you're a international group. Let's just call it that. Does them tour? Can
Then
you tour?
we did quite a few tours. We did a lot of mini tours between 2017 and 2019, and then once COVID hit, everything stopped.
It just got tougher, right? Yeah.
Yep. And we were actually right when the pandemic hit, literally right when it hit.
That was when Hammersmore came out, right?
Well, that's when I started to record it.
Okay.
And then that Halloween, because it's been every Halloween, we released an album with no tour. And then, because those were years. Those were years that we all experienced that.
Sure.
That Fear City, the same thing. Fear City was coming out, but at that time, people, I should say, it was very shaky. Like if you booked a tour, it didn't necessarily mean you would even have a tour. It could be canceled.
Sure.
And we didn't want to take that chance. We wanted to wait it out. Now we could tour, but now there's problems because the world is all screwed up. And if we were going to tour US, they would actually have to buy the Germans would have to buy
$5,000 visas, right?
something like that. It's either I thought it was 3,500, maybe it is 5,000 now, but it's a lot of money. Each one would have to buy it. It's not feasible.
Right.
We could go there, but again, it's still like I don't know. It's just it's kind of risky. But I would say if we were going to play anywhere, it would be Europe, and it would be in 2026.
Okay.
It's the best. That's the best thing I can say. My guesstimate. But we knew we weren't going to do a tour right out of the gate. So maybe there might be some shows in next year.
Right.
Very
okay.
positive.
Now, like we said, you and I are from New York. Is there ever a chance of a one-off show in New York? Everybody sleeps over at Troy's house one day, and then they're under the radar and they just go out to the Paramount or something.
Would love that. It's really hard to convince the Germans because they're worried. I mean, let me tell you something. When we did the tour with Halloween and we started off in Canada, right? We started off in Montreal. We played some shows in Canada and then came back in the States, went to New York and then went across the US, ended in LA. And then we drove back and then the Germans jumped on a plane right in LA and went home.
Yeah.
And we drove our van back with all the equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my God, you drove across the country? That in itself would destroy me.
I drove across the country 4 times. ever, you know. But anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is when we went into Canada, they almost didn't get in.
Oh,
They at the Canadian border, they gave the Germans a really hard time, and it didn't matter that we were part of a group. It didn't matter, you know, we had a destination to go to. We were detained for like 5 hours.
oh, wow.
Yeah, and we anticipated a little bit of an issue, so we left early, but it was horrible. So just for them to come here, like you said, for the one-off show, I mean, is it possible? Of course it's possible, but we don't like to do one show. Like we would have to do at least a handful of shows
Right.
because you know, there's costs involved, right? For
Of
them
course.
to come over. You know, like we have to rent equipment,
Yeah.
that thing. So I'm not gonna say never, and it is possible, but it's more probable that we do Europe,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
that's what we've been doing since that U.S. tour.
Right.
Halloween, we haven't played here since. We've only played Europe and various parts of Europe in different countries
Yeah.
in Europe. You know,
Now
so.
I gotta say though, Troy, I gotta tell you, you look great. I feel like he's maybe a little bit more svelte than he used to be.
A little.
Yeah. While he was while he or Troy was in that coma state, he shed a few pounds maybe.
Nah, KK likes to eat.
No, does he?
Yeah, he likes to eat.
Does he eat
So
human flesh, or is he just like a regular burger and fries kind of guy?
he doesn't eat flesh yet.
Oh,
You never know, man.
well,
You
that's
never
the
know where
teaser
this
for the
story's gonna
next
go.
album.
Oh, I got some crazy wild plans for the next album.
Oh, so there will, well, yes. Well,
Yeah.
we always assume you're
Right.
going to do something. We're not going to give anything away.
Right.
But
Listen,
it's not going to be KK does San Francisco.
no, no, it won't be that.
It would have been so much better if you had said yes. Yes, and he meets up with Ernest. And, and he and Ernest do San Francisco.
It would be a new spin-off adventure.
Yes. And suddenly everything's cool, you know. Why not? You know, just go to San Francisco, go to Haight Ashbury, and KK's just like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, that might happen. We're going to take a quick break. RadioRadioX and Mirth Films are the proud sponsors of the Listen Up Awards for the Upstate New York Capital Region, February 21st and 22nd at the Cohoes Music Hall in Cohoes, New York. The awards honors excellence and achievement in the Capital Region's music scene, spotlighting artists, venues, and industry professionals who keep the local sound alive and thriving. The nominees are listed and voting is open now. Visit the link on this interview's show notes to cast your vote and to buy a ticket for the Listen Up Awards. You were hearing a clip of Remember to Die off of Psychedelic Enigma from them, and now let's return to the conclusion of our interview with Troy Norr. You know, you've got this wild vibe going on with them. Is them your only group right now? Or is Cold Steel making its way back? Because I remember you posted something a while ago. I don't remember if anything came of it off the top of my head, if Cold Steel was going to make a resurgence.
No, it's right now. It's just them.
It's just them. Okay.
It's just them. Yeah.
All right. And
I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
Yeah.
With it.
I mean, you know, does it feel great still for you to? You were mentioning the LP and the gatefold. Does it still feel cool for you to hold a physical product and say, "Oh my God, I'm in this"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all fans. We're fans of vinyl and physical media, and it's just awesome. You know, I mean, I've always loved the experience, right?
Right.
We get a new album. And even so with a CD, it's not as profound, but with a vinyl, I mean, first thing I do, I open it up, I smell it. You know, it's a smell.
It's like a new car, right?
Yeah. And you know, you get to open up, and I love gatefolds. So we open up a gatefold. You could look at the artwork. You could, you know, read the lyrics. It's an experience, and you know, we want to give what we want ourselves. Like we want to experience that ourselves. So we want to pass that along to whoever is spending their hard-earned money on our record,
Right.
and people really like the records. They really enjoy they got a bang for their buck on this one because
Yeah.
we added an extra side. This is the first time, so it was a side D. So it was double records, side D, and that has our last digitally released EP called the
The
Goblin.
Goblin Sessions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's on side D of this double, this double album, this gatefold. So
That's
it's
wild. Yeah.
yeah. So they got a bang for their buck on this one.
And that's cool. You're keeping the fans and the consumers in mind. And I think that's something that's lost on a lot of people generally. And I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm not so sure. It's highly unlikely that everyone is thinking the way that you are, where you're thinking of the end user, the fan, the person who's looking at this album cover and going, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on here? I got to check this out." Right? You're giving them an experience.
We try to.
An out of body experience. Yeah.
There you go.
And so I also wanted to know, because I didn't get a chance to ask you this last time, your vocal training or your vocal background, does that come from a special school, or were you in high school chorus or something, or did you just one day just go to karaoke and start belting stuff out?
I actually used to play the trumpet for 13 years. Okay, in various bands in high school, all county.
Yeah.
The whole NISMA thing. You know what NISMA is?
My daughter's was and may again be a NISMA cellist. So there you go.
So so I played the trumpet exclusively. I always wanted to sing in a like a heavy metal band.
Right. Yeah.
I actually got into a car accident and I blew out what's called the aperture, where the muscles that form the notes when you're playing the mouthpiece. So I blew out my aperture and I would have to learn all over again. So I said, I'm done and I'm just going to sing in a heavy metal band. And I was like 19 at that time.
Oh, wow.
18. So, and that's, but I was already singing in a heavy metal band, but
Okay.
like for fun, just doing just more music.
In a garage band or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I joined Cold Steel shortly after this happening. So,
but it wasn't right. But it wasn't like you were in a church choir or something,
No.
and it wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was like what do you mean when I blew out my lip?
No, I mean when you developed your voice. How'd you develop your voice?
Naturally, just naturally.
You're just naturally able to hit those notes.
Oh yeah, and I learned because when King Diamond released the album, them, the opening track, Grandma, Welcome Home, that, I would just belt that out, and people would be like, "Wow, you should sing that stuff," or whatever, and I would just joke around.
Right.
And years later, many years later, in 2007, I was playing in a cover band, and we played all different styles, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, some rock and roll, like all different styles, hard rock, heavy metal.
In the rock and metal genre, yeah.
We were playing covers, and then
you weren't doing Teddy Pendergrass. I don't imagine that happening. No.
And then one of the guys was playing a King Diamond song, and I said, "Oh, I could sing some King Diamond," and then it turned into like, "Oh, let's play King Diamond song," but we never did. And so nobody else wants to do that. So I said, let's do like do like a tribute show, like play a few shows. And I wound up doing that for years.
Oh, wow.
As a King Diamond tribute band. And then some of the members in that King Diamond tribute band was members from Cold Steel.
Right.
And I knew we had already written an album and demos, and we're able to write original music. Those guys really weren't so excited to do that. So I wound up finding, the Germans from a chance meeting. Like I met at the time, we had this um, one of the re-releases of Cold Steel was made by this small record label called Battle Cry, and the owner of that record label was actually at the Prague Metal Fest with the band Landfear, who two of the members are in, or three of the members are in um, them now.
Okay.
But I saw them. We met for dinner, and I was showing them ideas, and Marcos Ulrich, the German guitar player, he saw the ideas, and we didn't even know each other. And later on, when I was just chatting with him on like Facebook Messenger, and I told him, "Oh, the guys don't want to do the Them album," and he said, "I'll do it with you," and that's how it started.
And I was wondering if I had imagined that. I feel like you had told me the abridged version of that when we met at the Stereo Garden one time,
Oh,
and
yeah, I probably did.
and then now we know the full
It was
thing,
literally
because
him,
he's your songwriting partner. He's your primary songwriting partner.
him. Well, both guitar players, yeah. So now,
Now
I mean,
both are, yeah.
yeah, but in the beginning it was just him, and
Right.
then the other guy, Marcus Johansson, we call him MJ because they're
Hmm.
both Marcus, right?
Right.
So we call the German guitar player, we call him Ule, and then Marcus Johansson, we call him MJ.
Yeah.
So MJ now it's like just about 50-50, like, but MJ writes these epic epic tunes that are just ridiculous. They're long and they're really involved and complex and proggy. Some of them are
Yeah.
proggy, and Marcus Ulrich can write. He could write straight ahead, thrash, speed, power metal, and he could also write proggy
Right.
stuff too. So we've touched upon everything,
Yeah,
and
you've got a lot you could tap into there. There's no shortage of stuff. I guess the big difference between this and Fear City is that maybe it's a little bit more straight ahead power thrash with a little bit of prog. Fear City, I think you maybe had a little bit more fun with the nostalgia of New York in the '80s and things like that. And this time it was more like, no, we got to go for the jugular here, and I think that's what
yeah,
you.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super cool, and it's cool to hear how these things evolve. And it just goes to show, like you're saying, somebody at Prog Power sees you or hears you and says, "Ah, that might be interesting. That guy's pretty good." And I've spoken to many performers over time, and they all say the same thing. And hopefully you feel the same. No matter the size of your audience, no matter what you're doing, you give everything you've got because you don't know who's out there.
You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's 10 people out there. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've played in front of, 50 people, and we've played in front of thousands of people. So
right,
it doesn't matter. We play the same show no matter what, when we've performed live.
right.
So, I mean, we're all itching. We would love to play live again. But in the interim, we write more music.
Excellent.
We love writing and recording. So,
So we
as long as they want us to write more records, then we'll write more records.
So as fans of them, we're keeping our fingers crossed for a tour in 26, probably in Europe, it sounds like. But and we know, without giving anything away, them will continue.
It could.
It could continue. I will cut that one part. Let's try that again. Them could continue. And there seems to be a demand for it anyway, so that's to your credit.
Yeah.
And it's anything you want to, is there anything else that you want to say to the fans of them and to the fans of Troy Norr who might know you from way back, from Cold Steel?
The only thing I would like to say is I'm very very appreciative, and we are very appreciative of the continual support. We really appreciate people taking the time to understand what we're doing and what we're about, and story wise, what people that are excited to know what happens next in the story, and that really in tune with both the music and the story. And we try to cover everything. Like, we try to do the best of what we can do with everything, with the music, the story, but the music is always number one. We got to make the music number one because, first and foremost, it's a musical project.
Sure.
But I think at this point, people are really intrigued that this was like a somewhat like of a journey, thematically, that spans across all these albums, and they're excited at this point. But in the very beginning, people didn't know. They didn't get it at first, and not until the third album. And then people were saying, critics were writing, "Oh, this is one story.
Right.
Interesting."
Right.
And it took it up to the third album,
It takes
but
a leap of faith sometimes, right?
yeah.
A little bit.
But I'm very appreciative of anybody who spent their hard-earned money, especially now with everything being so expensive.
Right.
Buying, anything, the CD, digital, anything, a digital download, the vinyl. But the vinyl, we do understand that vinyl is very expensive, and we try to give a bang for the buck. And even if we release more records, we would do the same thing. We would try to give more bang for the buck.
Yeah.
So that way it's worth investing in the vinyl, because the vinyl is definitely, in my opinion, the way to go if you're going to collect something from our group.
Yeah.
Just to have it, hold it, touch it, smell it, enjoy the artwork. It's just bigger. It's
Yeah.
just bigger, and it's just more fun.
And I'm going to put it out there. I'm sharing the photo again. I'm just going to put it out there because we're New York locals. I want to see a Holy Mother Them co-headline show near our houses so that we don't have to go to Germany to see the show, because you both do really well in Germany. Actually, you know where Mike is right now, right?
He's with Doro.
He's opening for friggin' Doro.
Oh yeah, I know. I see. I saw.
He's probably already landed. He's gotten through customs at this point. But I want the Paramount in Huntington to open it up to the local boys so that they could do a show and kick everybody's ass. And I'll be there front and center for you, because I want to see them. I want to experience them live. That's my goal. So I'm putting it out there, Paramount. Come on.
My goal will be to make that happen soon. How about
Yeah.
that?
I'll even take 89 North at this point. That's a good place.
Yeah, it's a decent venue.
That's a good place. They've got the outdoor beer garden type vibe going on. That's fine with me. But I think you're fantastic, and you're a really cool guy. For anybody who's ever been to a show and hung out with Troy's a natural storyteller, as you can tell with the music, but he's just like a cool guy to hang out with and have some wings with and have a beer with. So when you see him, first buy some merch and then go and just chill with him and tell him that you saw this interview. And it's just a real pleasure to see you again. And I'm glad that I'm getting to know Troy. I'll let KK be and I get to know Troy.
Maybe next time you'll get to know KK.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I might hold you to that.
You may even get a chance to experience a different side of KK.
Oh, something's a brewing.
Maybe.
We have to look toward another October 31st. I'm going to guess 2028 before anything happens. On Halloween, do you dress up as KK?
I have.
You have. Okay.
I've actually won 2 costume contests before.
So why don't you one day when they reboot Face Off, the TV show, you got to get back on there.
Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Troy, don't go anywhere, but it has been such a pleasure, and you're a New York boy, so this is special for RadioX, and thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great chatting, and I'm sure I'll see you at a show. Absolutely.
Special thanks to my friend Troy Norr of Them for joining us here today on RadioX. The new album is Psychedelic Enigma. It is available worldwide from our friends at Steamhammer. You heard clips of Catatonia, Evil Deed, and Remember to Die, all off of this fantastic, mind-blowing album. I've got links to them on social. They are at Them Band Official on Facebook. And if you're going to check them out on Bandcamp, they are them6.bandcamp.com. Support your local New York singer, Troy Norr, a.k.a. KK Fossor of Them. Always remember to make legitimate purchases of music, merch, and tickets to support KK and Them. Be sure to Visit RadioRadioX.com for all things music, pop culture, art, and entertainment, local and national. And also be sure to check out some of my other interviews with prominent New York-based and internationally acclaimed musicians like Armored Saint and Category 7 singer John Bush, local favorite drumming maestro Jason Bittner, also from Category 7 and with Shadows Fall. I also interviewed famous New York City trumpeter Mac Gallahan. That was a fun one. There's a lot of variety on here, so check out RadioRadioX.com and visit us on socials and support your local RadioRadioX.com DJs. They're working hard all the time. I would like to thank Rob and Art and the entire crew at RadioRadioX.com. Keep coming back to the site. I've got more interviews on the way.